Okay, so let's look at our redo for today. So the first question says, Elias has 3 containers of cooking oil. The table shows the volume of cooking oil in each container. Which list shows the containers in order from least to greatest volume in liters? So we know we're looking for the order in least to greatest. Okay, so let's go ahead and put these in order from least to greatest. Remember, we're using our place value chart. So I know that I have a number in the ones place, so I'm going to put ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. Okay. Alright, so let's start with container X. For container X, I'm going to put a 0 in the ones place, my decimal, and then 9 in the tens place, 4 in the hundreds place, and 6 in my thousands place. And for the container Y, I'm going to go ahead and put 0 in the ones place, 5 in the tens place, 0 in the hundreds place, and 2 in the thousands place. And container Z, we have 1 in 4200, so we start with the 1 in the ones place, put my decimal, a 4 in the tens place, a 2 in the hundreds place, and in this case, since I don't have anything in the thousands, I'm going to go ahead and put a 0 so that they're all the same length. Now I'm looking for least to greatest again, so I'm looking at place value. So let's start in our ones place. When I look at my ones place, I notice that I have a 0 and 0, 0, and 1. Okay, so I start by looking at that ones place, and I'm going least to greatest, so I see 2 numbers have a 0 in there, so then I have to move on to my tens place. Okay, now in my tens place, I have a 9 and a 5. Since I'm looking for my least value here, I'm going to go ahead and go with my 5, because that's my smallest number here. Okay, so I'm looking at this one here. This is my container Y, so container Y is going to be my smallest number. Okay, and so now I'm done with that one. That leaves me with 2 values left. So then I go back. I'm looking at my ones place again. I see that I have a 0 and a 1. So again, I'm going in order from least to greatest. So smallest is 0. So this one has to be my next value because I have a 1 for the next number. So this is going to be my second value, or container X is my second value. So then I'm going to cross that out. That leaves me with container Z that has a 1 in the ones place as my greatest value. Okay, so in order from least to greatest, it's going to be container Y, container X, and container Z. So now I'm going to look over here at my answer choices. I'm looking for Y, X, and Z. So I see that I have that for G. So G is the correct answer. Okay, let's look at our next problem. It says books in a library are arranged by their Dewey Decimal Number. The Dewey Decimal Number for 5 books are shown in the picture. Lana wants to place these books in order from least number to the greatest number. Which book will be in the 4th position? Okay, so to solve this problem, I'm going to go ahead and put these numbers in order. And in this case, I'm putting them in order from least to greatest. Okay, and I'm looking for the 4th book. So again, we're going to start with our place value chart. And in this case, I have 419, 417, 417. So I know that I'm going to have 3 place values before my decimal. So I'm going to have hundreds, tens, and ones. Put my decimal here. I have tenths, hundreds, and thousands. Okay, and then I'm going to take those 5 values and put them in my place value chart. Remember to add a 0 here for your placeholder. So I put these in my chart. Okay, then one more time I'm going to have to add a 0 here. My last one goes in my place value chart. And then remember, we're putting these in order from least to greatest. Okay, so I'm looking for the smallest number. So I'm going to start in my hundreds place. They're all the same, so this position or this place value does not help me. Okay, because they're all 4. In my tens place, they're all 1s. So then I'm going to use my ones place. Okay, and since I'm looking for the smallest number or the least number, I see that I have 2 7s that are my smallest. So in this case, I have to use my tens place. So I have a 9 and a 3. And again, we're looking for the smallest, so I know that my 3 is my smallest number. So this one's going to be the first book. Okay? Alright. So that's going to be my first book. I'm going to put a 1 here. And so that means that my 417 and 978 thousandths is going to be the second one, because it's the only other one that has a 7. Okay, that's the only one that has a 7. So then I go back to my ones place, and I have 8, 8, and 9. Again, I'm looking for the smallest. So based on this, I have 2 numbers that have an 8 in the ones place, so then I have to use my tens place here. I have a 6 and a 5, and again, I'm going from least to greatest, so I know my 5 is my smallest. So that means this is my third book. Okay, so that makes my fourth book the 418 and 630 thousandths. Okay, so by process of elimination, that means that 419 and 18 thousandths is my fifth book. So now I'm going to go to look for the fourth book, and I look here. This is my fourth book right here. So 418 and 630 thousandths is my answer. Now remember, equivalent decimals tells me that this number here is the same value as 418 and 63 hundredths.